Since completing my training in powerboat cruising, Dan and I wasted no time chartering boats and exploring the San Francisco Bay. In fact, we felt it was important for Deanne to take her own lessons so that she could feel comfortable at the helm. That's what's going on here.
Alright, bye.
So I'm always in time looking for other boats, and I'm seeing a guy over there.
Yeah,
And what do I do about him?
Right now we're on a parallel course, so that's fine.
Can I look over?
Yeah.
There you go. Where are we going today? It's like artificially high light because of the full moon right there. It's actually quite dark. We're on this boat, leaving a marina in Redwood City, and we're gonna be cruising over to Alameda now after. We've been able to capture some great views of the area. This is San Mateo Bridge on our way home from dinner at a marina in Redwood City. And of course we have lots of shots of Golden Gate Bridge. Right, we're just back from a day out on the water. This is the Juno NC895 is the model of the boat. It's a 30-foot cabin cruiser. Carolyn 2 is the name. And we docked a few minutes ago, tied her up. I'll take you on a little tour. Deanne did the tie-up, and she did the nice coils. They're called, what are they called?
French coil.
Nope, Flemish.
Nope.
I just remembered as I said it. Anyway, we finished for the day and we're having a glass of wine on the back. It's called the cockpit. And inside here is the boat. We put the drapes up because it was bright and getting hot. We're having some cheese and pate, and this is the dining room set. And the helm. There's the throttles and the electronics, which are off right now. This seat here flips backwards like this, and you can sit and face out the window. I won't do it because there's stuff on it. But that's nice because you can then see out the front, and then you can flip it over like this and have it as a dining room set. You can also collapse it into a bed. So then down here is the forward cabin, which is actually a pretty big bed. There's the head with fresh water in it. There's skylights up there. We just have all the things shut since we don't need them on. Here's another cabin. And here, this is one where you really wouldn't want to go if you were claustrophobic. You got to go underneath. And there's the big bed area. It's actually a sort of a large sleeping area, but you're like, there's the, it's like a coffin. It's pretty tight in there. I wouldn't really want to go in there, although I suppose I wouldn't really care. And there you go. There's a fridge. And stove. Oh yeah, there's actually a gas stove underneath here and a sink next to it. We don't use that. And the tank, the gas tank for that would be right in there. And there's the twin outboard engines. And the swimming deck, which we can't use because we're not in the Bahamas. And here's the marina. And that is a Friday. Aloha. Hey folks, I'm in San Francisco today. This is South Beach Harbor. It's right next to the Oracle Park where the Giants play baseball, as I've said before. My office is actually just a few blocks that way down in Mission Bay. Pretty convenient. But as I'm passing the harbor here, I thought of a story that I thought I would share. A recent experience taking the boat out. It's kind of foggy and windy, a bit cold, you know, summertime stuff. It's often pretty windy, especially on the San Francisco side during the summertime. And we came in here. We planned to dock here and have lunch. here at the South Beach Yacht Club. And as we were coming in, there was a bit of a challenge. So we called up the harbor master and we made a reservation, and we asked if there was a slip available so that we could dock here for a couple of hours. There was a small fee, and have lunch. And the wind was typical. It was, you know, a bit breezy. We came in, we were instructed to go down this fairway here, and they gave us a slip number. So the slip numbers are kind of hard to find or see. They're at the back of the slip. I think they're on a box in the back, the dock box. So we're crawling along looking for the number and kind of getting blown a little bit because it's a crosswind. And we finally find it, and it's a double slip. So there's two boats in one area with the dock on either side, and it's a sailboat parked and then a spot next to it. And I'm looking at it, kind of holding the boat still, and I think it's a bit tight. And I'm considering this, kind of getting blown backwards a little bit. And when that happens, like if the wind's coming from this direction, they call that the expensive side, because if your boat, you know, bumps into those boats, there could be some damage and it's going to cost you a lot of money. Whereas the other side, that's called the other expensive side. That's what my instructor used to always say. So I decide that it's a little tight for the boat to go in there, at least at my comfort zone. So I turned the boat around and we managed to get out and controlled it. I mean, it was a bit challenging. I was trying to get used to it. I did not hit any boats, didn't make any damage, but managed to get out. We called the harbor master and asked if there was an individual slip available, and she said, yeah, it's on the other side, kind of like on the far side of the marina, which is actually even a little bit more exposed. And so we go over there, and I see it. I'm gonna start pulling in, and as I'm going, the wind's still pushing me back, and then it catches the bow, and I start spinning, and it looks like I'm doing some sort of pirouette, you know, in the boat. So we bail on that, go out to, you know, the entrance area, turn around and try it again. It was still the same thing. I just couldn't get up the confidence to boost the engine power enough to come in with some authority so that I could overtake the wind. And decided, okay, well, a couple of attempts, wasn't feeling comfortable, getting a little frustrated, honestly. So we just let the wind blow us away from the dock, and then I, you know, directed the boat out. We left. I called up the harbor master and I said, yeah, I think we changed our mind. It's a little bit too breezy. And she goes, what? I mean, that's a big slip, way bigger than your boat. I said, yeah, thank you. So the point of that is to say that even with all of the instruction and the practice that I did out in the open waters, trying to maneuver the boat and all this, when you're in the pressure zone of the marina, and this is true for everybody, it's always a little more challenging. You're thinking about consequences rather than actually what you should be focused on is just proper maneuvering skills to get it in the slip. And the fact that I decided not to pursue that was actually a good idea. It's the right choice to make. There's plenty of other opportunities to come back for lunch, and there will be. We'll be back because I've had more practice since then. But I think that the whole idea of being cautious and just saying I'm going to get more training behind my belt before I try that again kind of goes back to the days when I was flying, when I was getting my private pilot's license. This was quite a bit ago, but there the instructor, you know, all the training was really focused on skills in emergency situations. That's when you're going to need the skills the most. I learned to fly at San Carlos Airport in this little two-seater plane, which was called the Katana. It was mostly analog instruments, and it had a fighter jet style control stick, or yoke, that steered the plane. I later flew larger Cessnas that had digital instruments, and the term glass cockpit was just becoming popular then, referring to the glass monitors like iPad screens, which displayed the data. But the Cessnas were a lot more expensive to rent. This is some video footage from a trip to San Luis Obispo, which was on my 26th birthday. Exploring the Bay Area by air is pretty spectacular. It's also very challenging because to fly over the city of San Francisco or the Golden Gate Bridge or anything north of the airport, you have to traverse SF International Airport space. And so leaving San Carlos, you immediately switch to talk to SFO Control Tower, where you're with pilots from United and all the commercial airlines coming into land or taking off. So it's high pressure as a student, but a good place to learn, which is like boating on the bay itself with all the commercial traffic that you have to navigate. So, what I remember most about flying, and there were a lot of pleasure trips and a lot of Bay Area tours with friends that I was lucky enough to take my friends on. The thing I remember most is actually the training where we were doing steep banks, we're doing, simulating engine failure, finding a place to land in an open field somewhere or a water or street, and then slow flight. And so slow flight is where you pull back the throttles as much as you can till you reach just the point of a stall. And if you fully stall, then you're going to lose the lift on the wings, and you're going to probably dip and start spiraling down towards the earth. And that sort of situation sometimes happens when people are taking off and they climb too steeply, or they're coming in for a landing and they're going too slowly and they lose control. You're very close to the ground, then you don't have a lot of time to recover. So that slow flight simulation is kind of what I feel like when I'm doing slow maneuvers in marinas and attempting to come in for docking in windy situations, because you can't go fast, but you're having to fight this constant wind pushing you the opposite direction, or even the same direction, but maybe the wind's pushing you too fast in. So that's sort of the whole feeling that I get. So I want to practice more of that, and take away the messages that I got from the small aircraft training and apply it to this. Heading out early in the morning is pretty magical. The seas are often very calm, the marina quiet, and we get the golden rays that cast a warm glow over those radiant waves. Well, we just did a voyage from Ballina Isle over to Sausalito this morning. We left at we pushed off around 7:15 this morning, which is like 2 minutes after sunrise, and very calm. How you doing? That's a Club Nautique boat. It's the 895 version of the Juno series. This is the 795. I was actually trained on that boat. So anyway, we came over to Sausalito, had a very good ride. We were going about 23 knots the whole way on calm waters, avoiding the box, as they call it, which is the area the Coast Guard is blocked off in preparation for Fleet Week events, and it actually starts this afternoon. There's going to be some practice. And we got here at 8:22, so it took us just about an hour to get here. And easy dock on the side tie here at the public ramp. Later, we headed over to Paradise Cove on the east side of Tiburon, where we anchored and had lunch with some friends. It's another nice morning. I was just in talking to the harbor master and learned that the marina allows up to 10% of the boats to be liveaboards, so people can live full time on the boat. And I didn't really register the fact that quite a few people, in fact, do live full time on their boats. We got these trawlers, the nice old sailboats, some of the larger yachts. Anyway, that's very interesting. I got to thinking about houseboats, which is not the same thing, but that was my first memory of boating, was my parents' houseboat, which was on Fox River in Chicago area when I was a little kid. It was fun. We would spend the weekends on the boat, and I remember there were luau's that my parents and my aunt and uncle would have on the boat and stuff. And I was talking to my neighbor about my lessons the other day, and he said his brother's into sailing, and he said, "You gonna buy a boat?" And I said, "No, because all I can remember from my youth was my dad crawling down into the engine room every weekend and trying to repair the engine." I said, "That doesn't really sound like me."